Hi everyone, in honor of the new DLC I am doing a legendary lord tier list based on their relationship and involvement with the famous high elf sea lord Jeffrey Elfstein, who was running a sex trafficking ring on his private island. I am doing this solely because the Phoenix King refuses to release the files. Before I start, let me explain the categories. The first one means the person came to indulge in Slaneshi behavior with the trafficked victims. The second category means they came to the island to befriend influential people, enjoy a nice drink, violently murder someone, or engage in other non-sexual activities. The third and fourth categories are self-explanatory. With the foreplay out of the way, let's rank the lords. I'll start with the no-brainers. All Dark Elf and Slaneshi lords, everyone knows why they went. No need to explain. Except for Lokir, who wasn't invited because he is currently capturing Cathayan children to send to the island. Khazrak, Morgur and Torox definitely weren't invited because of poor hygiene, but Malagor's expertise on the anatomy of the harpy would get him an invite, and as a beastman, everyone knows he is a real freak. The Fey Enchantress, those feet are for looking and nothing more, but she is definitely coming to meet some influential elves. Alberic, he is getting an invite, but he is out there in the sun in Lustria working his ass off. He doesn't have time for controversial bullshit. It is common knowledge that everyone's favorite king likes to sleep around, and I don't think he is worried about the age of consent. With that knowledge, not only is he on the Star Dragon flight log, but he was likely an accomplice in the sexual exploitation of Elfstein's victims. As for Repance, she is out there grinding in the desert. When you are crusading, you can't get caught up in needless controversies. The Ever-Chosen is a tough one. He needs to bring the apocalypse, but he also has Slaanesh whispering in his ear, telling him to come. I believe that the other chaos gods help him focus on the end of the world rather than the end of his public image. Belikar, he is out there in the Shadow Realm, scheming, trying to bring more people to his cause. Elfstein Island is a perfect place to connect with powerful individuals. He is getting there on the first flight. Kolek, everyone wishes he were there. He wishes he were there, but he was too big for any dragon to carry him to the island, so he didn't get invited. Aranessa, no one wants the smell of fish stick feet. If she were still a mermaid, she maybe would have gotten an invite. Luther, he is a funny guy, gets invited to every Elfstein party, but every time he goes his personality switches and he changes his mind. Silastra, woman can sing, she can entertain the guests when they are not having sex with children. Invited 100%. Count Noctilus, he walks to the island on his big Necrofex Colossus. Everyone cheers, then he gets shit-faced. Yuan Bo, he is an administrator, doesn't have time to think about pleasure. He always gets invited but sends Elfstein an apology for not being able to make it. Right now, he is ecstatic that he never visited the island. Miaoing, beautiful woman, beautiful dragon, but she can't shut up about the Great Bastion. Always talking about her Great Wall. No one cares. Boring person, no one wants her around, not even Imric. That is why she never got invited to the island. As for her brother Zhao, half the time he is high on warpstone, just wants to fuck anything with a pulse. Elfstein Island is the only place he can relax from his sister's bitching. Not that that's an excuse. He is on the list, no question about it. Now we are getting to the dwarfs, and you might expect that they would never come to an elf island. Well, that's what they want you to think. Thorek, the greatest runesmith of his time, I have it from a reliable source that he cast the rune of shadow to cover the island in mist, and he also beats halfling children to death with his hammer. Since it's not sexual, let's say he came to socialize. Belegar, always looking for benefactors to fund his reconquest of Karak 8 Peaks. Clan Angrun still hasn't recovered from the shame of finding his name in the Star Dragon flight log. The suicidal king of Karak Kadrin isn't welcome because the island can accommodate only one dwarf ginger, and between him and Malachi, Elfstein invited the wacky inventor. Of course, Grombrindle was out of the question. Malekith donated a hefty sum to the Elfstein Foundation to make sure he gets nowhere near him. Revenge sex was not on the list. The High King was already getting enough action from his proud throne carriers, and even though he was invited, he never saw the need to fly there. An influential man like Karl Franz was definitely invited to the island, but he was there for the sole purpose of aura farming on all the other guests. Volkmar, being a bald freak and the head of the famous cult of Sigmar, was on the island doing unspeakable acts to trafficked Middenland boys. Elspeth, being a semi-immortal goth death wizard. She is definitely into some weird shit. Marcus is just not wealthy or influential enough to get invited. On the other hand, Gelt is rich, influential, and quite possibly the co-organizer of the entire sex trafficking ring, but since there is no concrete evidence, he is gonna have to go into the socialized category. Wurzhag, he is a great naked dancer, you would think a perfect fit for an Elfstein party, but he is kinda poor, not even a millionaire. That means no invitation for this prophet. Now Grimgr, the greenest and meanest orc that ever lived, he is getting an invite, and you know why he is going there, the biggest fight he can find, and no, it's not sexual. Azag, he usually wouldn't get an invite, but he has one of Nagash's Horcruxes. There is definitely some Nehe Karen elite ball knowledge he can use in the bedroom, cock or no. Skarsnik knows Belagar is flying to the island, and even though he got invited on account of his stolen dwarf gold, he is seizing the opportunity to take all of Belagar's territory. Gorbad, he is just not that impressive. Isn't relevant for some time now, and as for Grom, everyone knows he has a bad history with High Elf Islands. We can safely put them in the wasn't invited category. Now Alarielle, not a good person, perverted sick fuck, just because she is a woman, doesn't mean she can't sexually abuse victims. Since I don't want Mossad Shadow Warriors to stage my suicide, I am putting Alith Anner in the wasn't invited category. Eltharion has enough problems with Tor Ivres. Constant greenskin invasions and whatnot. He got invited, but he knows the minute he leaves, there will be an invasion. For that reason, he never went to Elfstein Island. Imric, he is a dragonphile. If there is a dragon at the orgy, he is coming. Teclis, he uses advanced elven magic to cover up his involvement, so unfortunately, we will never know the full extent of his crimes, but we can say for sure that he at least visited the island. Tyrion might be the Phoenix King, but he is just one of many birds that came for the forbidden fruit of Slaanesh. He was a known good friend of Sea Lord Elfstein before the controversy. All 4 Khorne legendary lords want to be there. The island is full of top-tier warriors and blood for the blood god and all that. And Elfstein loves a good deathmatch, so I'd say Valkia, Arbel and the Skulltaker are getting an invite, but Skarbrand, he is just too big. He will vandalize everything. It's gonna be a huge mess that someone is going to have to clean up, and it's just not worth it. The famous Kislev Tsar Boris Ursus was actually caught with one of the Elfstein victims right in the Ice Palace. People don't know that, but that is the real reason he abdicated. After that his daughter Katarina took over even though she too was on the island, but to what extent, we just don't know. Coastalton, he is just a more pathetic Volkmar with hair. Elfstein didn't see any value in inviting him, the same could be said for Mother Ostankia. Gor Rock, he is the cold-blooded protector of Itza. He has no business being on Elfstein Island. Everyone knows it, so he never got invited. Croc Gar. His only love is his T-Rex Grimlock. Elfstein had clients who wanted to see some lizard-on-lizard action and maybe get in on the fun. Croc said, no thank you. After that, he asked Tic-Tac-Toe, same response. Those 2 lizard men love their mounts, and they aren't into sharing. Now, Mazda Mundi is a completely different story. Elfstein personally hired dark elf sex traffickers to bring the Slan's 17 young skink hatchlings. It's disgusting how the other Slans helped cover up this information. Nakai, he is a well-spoken and well-traveled individual. People want to hear his stories. He has a lot to offer. Not to mention, he is a real hunk of a Croxigar. He visited the island at least once. Tihenuane, the skink prophet, he wasn't invited. There was a limited number of invites dedicated to heads of religious organizations, and he just wasn't that important. Oxyatl, who gives a shit? Wulfric actually got invited, but when he heard Nakai was coming, he changed his mind since Wulfric knows Nakai is the superior wanderer. He has a real insecurity regarding his wanderer title. As the most important troll in the world, Throg got an invite, and he was doing the nasty as soon as he stepped on the island, no question about it. Let's face it, if you are having any kind of event, you don't want any of the Nurgle lords. They are smelly, disgusting, and decomposing. All around unpleasant to be around, but one of them was invited, it's Epidemius, let me explain why. From all the interracial sex orgies, Elfstein needs someone to record all the venereal diseases that are created during the parties. It's a crucial role, but Epidemius still can't participate in the orgies. Now Golgfag, he is hella rich and connected from all the mercenary work he did, so he definitely got an invite, but he is only interested in mukbangs and getting shit-faced. Greasus, he is an important world leader. Very rich and very powerful. As this rich and powerful individual, he can't help but indulge in the forbidden fruit of having sex with minors. Scrag, it's the same problem as with Wulfric. Azag is there, he is the better slaughterer, end of story. Ikit Claw, brilliant rat, no doubt about it. He loves talking to other powerful individuals about his warpstone contraptions. People love it. Everyone just feels smarter after talking to him, and he always has so much to say. Queek, you would think that he wasn't invited, but you would be dead wrong. His schizo charm makes him loved at every party. Not to mention, he is always ready for a fight. The Khorne guests love him. Skroke and Thretch, do I really need to say anything? Deathmaster Snitch gets invited, but never comes because he knows that he will be killed as soon as he steps on the island, since he collects all the blackmail evidence against the participants. In fact, he is the reason I can make this video. Throt is a real horny freak. He breeds like crazy. It is common knowledge that half the population of Hellpit is related to him, not to mention, like Ikit, he is a brilliant inventor, but unlike Ikit, he is not there to talk. In fact, he is one of the worst offenders, and one day it's gonna be his downfall. The Tomb Kings are a complicated affair. Elfstein wanted to invite Settra, but Settra demanded that he not invite Archon and Katep. It was a tough call, but Elfstein knew of Settra's game. In the end, he invited Settra, gave him a couple of Bretonnian girls, and called it a day. Queen Khalida, she actually got invited, but she keeps screaming about Neferata. Everyone is telling her that her DLC is just around the corner, and when she comes, she is heading straight for Lamia. The Changeling, he got invited, and even if he didn't, he could show up as anybody. On the island, his favorite transformation is a Sister of Avalorn with a huge Futanari cock. Since Kairos could see the future, he knew the enormous scandal he would have to face. All the other Lords of Change would call him a Slaneshi freak. It would be really awkward in Tzeentch's realm when he would have to explain, so even though he got invited he said, no thanks. Village, he doesn't have anything going for him, just this weird worm stuck to his mentally retarded brother, never got invited. Heinrich, let's face it, the only reason he got invited is because of Krell. Helmengorst, probably the most irrelevant character on the list. Isabella and Vlad, the ultimate vampire power couple. Of course Elfstein invited them, they are rich and influential, but they don't need to have sex with minors, they have each other. True love never fades away, and neither will the names from the list, but thankfully, Isabella and Vlad aren't on it. The same can't be said for this bald fuck, always scheming, grooming, inappropriately touching. The guy is an all-around piece of shit. I don't think anyone can deny that. I think it's even less surprising that he likes them young. Drycha, she hates elves. Not a surprise she didn't get an invite. Durthu is going for one reason only, to crush dwarfs with his hulking rooty feet, and no, it's not sexual. Orion, Elfstein didn't want to invite him, but since he partook in one of his wild hunts, he felt obligated to invite him. It's kinda annoying that all Orion does there is talk about his stupid wild hunt and nothing else, but most of the guests avoid him anyway. Now, the sisters have been hanging around dark elves frequently. Not only did it affect their behavior, making them more murderous, but it also changed them sexually, making them more sadistic and rapey. Drazoeth, he is always looking for new customers to buy his weapons, and when he got the invite to Elfstein Island, he was thrilled. All the people who needed guns at one place. Truly a dream come true. Astragoth is a tragic story about always staying hard. He liked them old, young, submissive, dominant, nothing he couldn't handle. But because of his hubris, he got too hard, and now he doesn't feel anything. You can jerk him, suck him, nothing helps. So he is forced to watch the sport in which he was once a champion. Elfstein always saves a cuck chair for the high priest. Zayton, everyone knows about his fishhook fetish. Even the elves are disgusted by it. There is a saying, if you see Zayton at an orgy run. Believe me, this guy is not getting invited to Elfstein Island. The children are thankful for that. Last, but definitely least, Daniel the Demon Prince. To no one's surprise, he is too weak and pathetic to get an invite. I mean, this guy wouldn't get invited to his own bar mitzvah. And that is every legendary lord ranked on the Elfstein tier list. If you enjoy this kind of content, like and subscribe. Comment if you disagree with any of the picks, and we can have a debate in the comments section on where your favorite legendary lord should go. See you until the next one, thanks for watching.